So in your case, you were talking about how much it cost you. Then I started talking to these people, $250,000. Another guy that I'm following out in Fort Worth right now, Tarrant County. I think he's way up over $2 million. Mm-hmm. Judge Judith Wells, corrupt judge. And she even vowed before the last election that she would, stop her corruption, still in practicing on that.
Judge Judith Wells. It's kind of ironic that you pulled this question because I was just reading on a page that I follow, the same topic. It says, do you feel it's appropriate for family court judges to go on vacations or weekend getaways with Amicus or Ad Litem Attorneys? And it's interesting because it mentions you specifically, and it says, for example, Judith Wells going on a weekend hot tubbing trip to Hot Springs, Arkansas, with Amicus Attorney Laurie Robinson. So I guess my question is, if you are reelected, will you just continue doing things that give that appearance?
I will.
Like I said, Judith Wells violated every canon of conduct in our case. And, regardless of, your political party or what you believe about, divorce, I don't think anyone can support having judges in place who violate the canons of conduct.
Yeah. And what really fries me, Greg, is that this last session there was legislation about making sure that these judges are adequately compensated. And this was a great thing. We passed this law that we're going to compensate our judges. Now, I don't know if the family court judges are included in it or not.
Throw them in jail.
That's the way you feel about a lot of it, I know.
Throw them in jail where they belong. There's nothing legitimate about what the family court system is doing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
In fact, the way I word it is that court ordered my sexual abuse.
They did. Absolutely.
It was court-ordered sexual abuse against me.
Yeah. It was. Absolutely.
And it was my son that was on the line.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no other way to explain it except that.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to that, I mean, you're one of the fortunate ones because you now have your son too.
Yeah, very, very fortunate. One of the rare people, rare men who has custody of his child. Mm-hmm. Recipient of child support, which you throw it, keep your filthy money. I don't even, it doesn't matter to me, but it's ordered.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Well, part of the reason child support is ordered so that the government can make money off of the collection with the Title 40
right,
funding.
and they make a lot more money off my son than I do.
Yeah. Or it's like, this when you were talking about you had to pay, but you couldn't receive funds. The state is making interest on that.
Sure.
And then the other thing, if you're behind, they can throw you in jail and everything and keep accrued. Or if you get behind, you have accrued interest. And what is the rate of interest that they charge?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Do you know?
No, I've heard, but I don't know for sure. And I've never had the experience of stuff. But it is a racket.
Yeah.
I was at a meeting, a Tea Party meeting, a few years ago when the Attorney General was speaking at it. And he was talking about the collection of child support. Now, remember that the Tea Party is a pretty, fiscally conservative organization. So there were a couple of us there who knows this racket. And I asked, somebody else asked the question, but I videotaped it. And he says, well, he talked about Title 4D funding and the efficiencies that they have and everything, and it makes the state a lot of money.
How much money does your agency receive in Title D dollars?
We get a lot of money from the federal government. I don't know the exact percentage, but obviously it's a large amount of money, and obviously there's a lot of strings attached to it. My office, a lot of our child support money, 2/3 of our child support money comes from the federal government. So, we're dealing with that on a constant basis. They have their own rules that you have to follow to get the money, but those have been in place for a long time. Whether you would want to walk away from, I don't know what percentage, 30-40% of our budget coming from federal government, I'm guessing, but it's a lot.
And I don't know for sure, but I thought I did some research that looked like it was about $73 million that year, profiting off of children, off of divorce.
They shouldn't be making any money.
They should not be. But the other thing is, if you look in the Texas Family Code, it's in section 201.107, the judges have a duty to maximize Title 4D funding. And the way that they do that is not by keeping both parents in the lives of the children. They have to make one person basically a visitor, or sees the child every other weekend and maybe every Thursday or something like that. That's how they justify the child support. The state destroys families to make money. And again, the governor knows about this because he used to be the attorney general. I've talked with an attorney out in Dallas, or out in Rockwall, and he said, "Oh yeah, Governor Abbott loved this stuff. He was much more zealous in prosecuting it, or in collecting the money as an AG than Attorney General Paxton." And Attorney General Paxton actually issued an opinion this February that I think gives us the ability to take down some of these corrupt practices. But you've got to have people with standing that probably have money and are willing to get good attorneys that'll fight it. Because these family courts are out of control. The attorneys, how much is your balance sheet worth, Greg? Okay, $1 million. The unwritten law in Texas and California was 40% can come to us. We can split. If we go over 40%, they might come back and try to kill us. If we go up to 40%, it will hurt them, but we can still make them feel like they came out of it okay. These family courts are just horrendous.